After a dominant 3-game series victory in Kansas City, the Phillies now come home and face yet another team that they lost to in the World Series. Tyler Mroz, Heat Ratio Sports Phillies pregame show. We mentioned that series win 11-3. The Phillies beat the Kansas City Royals on Sunday. They also had the same exact score on Saturday as well. So a dominant offensive weekend for the Fightins, and they have a tough task ahead of them. Shout out to Garrett Stubbs. I'll call him Shimmy. He's got the best shimmy on the team. Went 4 for 4 yesterday. 2 RBIs, 3 runs. Got hit by a pitch. Was a home run away from the cycle. Many people were calling for him to be DFA'd, be sent down, have Rafael Marchand come in and replace him. But Garrett Stubbs proving the haters wrong, raising his average well above 200. Might be even close to 230 at this point. I'm not sure off of the top of my head. But yeah, tough task ahead of them. Phillies now play the Houston Astros, who were a sub-500 team in the beginning of the season. They are now have a 5-game lead over the Seattle Mariners in the American League West. Ronel Blanco, 9-6 with a 3.14 ERA, going up against Zach Wheeler. Got the jersey on for good luck. There we go. Yeah, I always get confused on which side's which. But Zach Wheeler on the mound today had a really good performance against Atlanta in his previous start. But we'll get into why it wasn't so good. As good as it could have been later. And Ronel Blanco did throw a no-hitter for the Houston Astros in the beginning of the year. So definitely not an easy guy to go against. Has the lowest ERA currently on the team. So, yeah, they did. Phillies, I'll get into that in a little bit. We'll be talking about that World Series. But after that no-hitter, shout out to All Philly All the Time, Owen Lapp. Go check them out. I was watching them today. They're drafting the most depressing Philly sports moments, and Owen had drafted, or somebody drafted the no-hitter in the World Series, and they said at that moment, that's when they realized we weren't going to win, and I completely 100% agree. I was like, yep, that is the exact moment. That, and then the Yordan Alvarez home run. But back to this, Phillies did make some roster moves. Weston Wilson was placed on the paternity list, so congrats to him and his family. He will be out a maximum of 3 games, so he could miss this entire Houston series. He could be back tomorrow. He could be back for Wednesday's game, but nonetheless, he will be out for 1 to 3 games. And Colby Allard was optioned to Lehigh Valley. Phillies called up Max Lazar. I predicted that to happen because Max Lazar has been too good to not be in this bullpen. And then Buddy Kennedy, an infielder from AAA, he got the call to the majors. He has been really good for He's been really good in the minors for Lehigh Valley this year. A 313 batting average, 415 on base, 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, and then played with the Toledo Mud Hens earlier, where he's batting not the greatest, 234, but had 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. So overall, a 12 home runs season in the minors for Buddy Kennedy. He will be serving as infield depth for Weston Wilson as he is going on the paternity list. So again, congrats to the Wilson family. Phillies lineup today. It's just the righty lineup. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. It's Austin Hayes in left field, Brandon Marsh in center field. So no significant lineup changes. And then the Astros do actually have one. There is no Jose Altuve today. He is getting the day off. I was kind of surprised by this. It's game 1 in a pretty tight series. These two teams are in the leads in both of their divisions. So kind of shocking that Altuve got the day off for game 1. And no Mauricio Dubon. He made a crazy catch against the wall against the Baltimore Orioles yesterday. He did avoid significant injury, but he is day to day. And there's also no Kyle Tucker. He is still on the injured list. He's projected to come back early September, according to the Astros themselves. Let's get to the keys to the game. For all you social media guys, the Costco guys, got to bring the boom, just like they did over the weekend. The Phillies had a pretty historic weekend. It was, I think, the most runs in a single series since the Cardinals against the Cardinals in 2007. So keep that going. You're going up against the Astros now, and then you're going against the Braves for 4 games. So you really need as many runs as you can get. They had 45 hits, 26 runs, and 3 homers in that 3-game series. 2-11 to 3 victories. So keep it going. You have to keep the bats going, especially against Reynald Blanco. Justin Verlander is going to be on the mound tomorrow. So you will see some really good Astros pitchers. And you got to avoid the long ball. The Astros are a team that will beat you with the contact. They're always going to get a good amount of hits. So if you give them the opportunity to hit the long ball, they will most likely beat you. They did that with the Orioles in games where they hit 2 home runs. They won against the Orioles. So avoid the long ball. They've had 5 home runs in the previous 3 games. I believe Jeremy Pena is on a 2 or 3 game home run streak. Jose Altuve hit one in that Orioles series as well, but he is not in the starting lineup today. I don't know if we'll see him as a pinch hitter late in the game if it's close. Will the Astros manager be like Rob Thompson and leave their best guys on the bench in a tight spot? We shall see. Of a day off. I'm still on board. I see why they did that. I have no issue with that. I know a lot of people were pretty mad at Rob Thompson. I don't have an issue with it. Give your guys a day off. But nonetheless, Astros have been hitting some home runs in the last couple of games, and Zach Wheeler has given up a home run in each of his last 3 starts. In his last 5 starts, he's given up, 6? Because he gave up 3 to the Yankees, had no runs the next time, and then each of his last 3 starts, he's given up a home run. So avoid the long ball. Momentum killer. It's a real momentum killer. And Alex Bregman is batting leadoff for the Astros tonight. And is he? I don't think he's the leader in home runs for them, but he's top. He's got to be top 2. He's either top 2. He's number 2. Jose Altuve is 3rd, but Yordan Alvarez has 25. Yanyer Diaz has 16. Jeremy Pena has 14. He's hit a couple in a row. So Wheeler, avoid the long ball. And then finally, no hitters, please. I beg. I cannot go through that again. I flew up from Florida to back here at home. I was anticipating a Phillies World Series parade. That did not happen. The first game I came up for that night was the no-hitter. That's what pretty much sealed the deal. And the Astros have been really good pitching recently. They have a 2.97 ERA in the previous 10 games. So please, no hitters. Reynald Blanco has thrown one in the beginning of this season, and infamously, or famously, depending on which team you root for, the Astros threw a combined no-hitter against the Phillies in, game 4 of the World Series. Please, no hitters, especially against the Astros. I can't take it. The Astros and the Mets are the 2 teams. I can't do it. I just can't do it. But we're going to get back to all that later. But let's talk about what we got cooking today on the Triple Play. We have been hitting. We had a historic weekend against the Royals. Not just the Phillies on offense, but us here at Heat Ratio Sports for the Triple Play. We hit 2 on Friday. We hit 3 more on Saturday. And then we hit another 3 yesterday. So we hit 8. 8. That's crazy. We make 4 picks a day. So 8 for 12 for a whole weekend. That's doubling your money. And again, you use your code HEAT. You get 50% off at Win Daily. All the best bets. We use the Win Daily method to place these bets. And it's been working. And it's going to continue to keep working. So use your code HEAT. You get 50% off at Win Daily. You probably could have paid off first 2 years with the bets this weekend. So let's see what we got going today. Bryson Stott, over 1.5 HRR at plus 105. He had 4 hits the other day. He's looking a lot better. It's the home crowd. First game of a homestand. I think he'll come out swinging. Whether that's a home run or not, I do think he is going to get over 1.5 HRR. And then we got Zach Wheeler, under 6.5 strikeouts at minus 115. I'm not really sure. The Astros are not a team that strikes out often. They are, here we go. Had average lined up here. They strike out as a team 19.3% of the time. That's the 3rd best in the MLB. So they are not a team that strikes out a lot. They draw a lot of contact. So not really a big strikeout game for Zach Wheeler. So I think he'll get 5. These are home run bets. These strikeout bets are usually come within one or two, minus the Colby Allard one yesterday. We said over 2.5, and he finished with 5. So I am actually going with the under. Let's see if the under can help us out this time. And then Bryce Harper to get 2+ total bases at plus 110. Usually hits the Astros well. So I think Bryce Harper is going to have a pretty solid game. Let me look up his career numbers against the Astros. He has not faced Ronel Blanco. Again, a situation like the other night with it wasn't Cole Reagans. I forget who it was, but Bryce Harper, not a great average against the Astros, but that's all the way back in 2012. And then the playoff games in 2022 had that long home run against Lance McCullers Jr. So I do think Bryce Harper at 2+ total bases at plus 110 is a really good one. And then a bonus bet. Usually like to do a home run bet for this. Did a Alec Boehm 2+ hit one yesterday. That also hit. So see if we can hit this one again today. Trey Turner to get a home run at plus 425. He's 1-for-1 against Ronel Blanco in his career. Again, homestand, I think the Phillies are going to come out swinging. I think they're going to have another pretty big game on offense. I don't think it's going to be as good as 11 runs, but I definitely probably will see them scoring 6-7 runs, especially against Blanco. He's a rookie, or he's not a rookie, but he's a younger guy. So I do think Trey Turner at plus 425 is pretty good odds for a home run. Again, use your code HEAT. Get 50% off at Win Daily. We got Bryson Stott over 1.5 HRR. Zach Wheeler under 6.5 strikeouts. Bryce Harper at 2+ total bases. And then Trey Turner to get a home run. So there was a starting rotation update earlier in the day. I had to change this because right before I came on, more news came out from Rob Thompson himself. But earlier, Anthony Sanfilippo reported that he was hearing that Taijuan Walker would most likely not make his next start because his next start was projected to be Thursday against Atlanta for Game 1. But he said that either a release or a DFA would likely be coming soon. That's what he was hearing. But then Rob Thompson, not too long ago, maybe like less than 30 minutes ago, said that Christopher Sanchez and Taijuan Walker swapped places in the rotation. So Christopher Sanchez was supposed to start Wednesday against the Astros. That game is at 4:05. Taijuan Walker will now be pitching that game, and Christopher Sanchez will be pitching Thursday for Game 1. A complete joke that Taijuan Walker is still in the Phillies rotation. I don't know how you don't have a guy like Colby Allard or anybody, literally anybody. Tyler Phillips, even Tyler Gilbert, I would take over Taijuan Walker. If Walker has another bad game coming up, it's really hard to see how he stays on this roster much longer. He cannot be on this roster if he continues to give up at least 4 runs a game. It's just unacceptable. But I always do this first game of a series. Favorite moments against the team, against the Houston Astros this time. Normally, National League teams, they play them twice a year, once at home, once away. So I'll do best moments at Citizens Bank Park. And then when they play, for example, the Brewers, best moments that happen for the Phillies at, well, it's not Miller Park anymore. It's like American Insurance. I don't even know. I want to look this up because it's going to bother me now. The Brewers stadium name. I hate it. It's Miller Park and Milwaukee Beer, American Family Field. Just same thing with Safeco Field. I'm always going to call it Safeco Field. And now it's T-Mobile Park. I'm not going to call it T-Mobile Park. Just like a lot of people do with the Wells Fargo Center. A lot of people still call it the Wachovia Center. And the name is going to be changed pretty soon. My guess is IBX Arena. I'm all for the Wawa Center. Please, please, please make it the Wawa Center. Throw in some Wawas in there. Have some gas pumps outside if that's even possible. The epitome of Philly. Sheets is the advertising partner for the Pirates, so we cannot let Sheets have any one-upsmanships on Wawa. So I'm making the call here. The Wawa Center, please, please make that the new Wells Fargo Center. But get back to it. It's probably going to be the IBX Center, IBX Arena, because they're the sponsors for the Flyers and the Phillies. But stadium team names should stay the same. So getting back to this, my favorite moments against the Astros, even though I wasn't alive for this, 1980, the Phillies did win the National League pennant against the Astros. For those who don't remember, the Houston Astros did used to be in the National League Central. There was 6 teams in that division at the very end. So Phillies beat the Astros, came back, had a comeback win against Nolan Ryan in one game, and they won the pennant en route to their first World Series title when they beat the Kansas City Royals 2011. A name you guys may not remember. John Mayberry Jr. gets a walk-off single in the opening day game for the Phillies in 2011, which is kind of crazy. 2011. But yeah, John Mayberry Jr. I don't know. He was pretty decent for the Phillies from what I remember. I mean, I don't know his stats off the top of my head, but Wilson Valdez had the game tying single, and then John Mayberry Jr. the walk off. So 2011, and then I mentioned it earlier, the World Series, but specifically games 1 and 3. The Phillies lost that series 4-2, but those 2 games were 2 of the best Phillies games I have ever witnessed live. Game 1, they were down 5-0. Alex Bregman hit 2 home runs off of, or no, sorry, not Alex Bregman. Kyle Tucker hit 2 home runs off of Aaron Nola. Wasn't looking too good. Then the Phillies rallied back. They had to come back, went into extra innings. Nick Castellanos made that sliding catch, which saved the game. That the game would have been over. I believe Altuve hit that. There's a runner at second. That would have been game over. Nick Castellanos saves the game. Phillies go to the 10th inning. JT Realmuto, solo shot. Phillies win game 1. And then game 3, the first World Series game at Citizens Bank Park since 2009. Bryce Harper starts it off with a bang. His previous at-bat before that in Citizens Bank Park was Bedlam at the bank, swing of his life, whatever you want to call it. So back-to-back home runs and at-bats for Bryce Harper. And then Alec Boehm went yard. Everybody seemed to be going yard. Schwarber went yard. Man, that was a night to remember. And I don't like to remember the rest of the series because you had the no-hitter, you had the Chas McCormick catch, and then you had the Yordan Alvarez 3-run bomb off of Jose Alvarado. So that's 3. Owen, if somehow you're watching this, that's 3 moments from any of the other games that if you compile a team of just those moments, that would probably be a top tier all time. At least Phillies awful moments. Man, what a turn of events. That was going so well for the Phillies, and then just completely turned around. And then the Not Just Philly, because here at Heat Ratio Sports, we are not just Philly. We like talking about other stuff. It's the stories of the day. Always do the divisional updates. Braves starting a 3-game series at Minnesota. Huge, huge series for them. Phillies are currently 6 games up on the not the Twins, on the Braves. Atlanta's playing the Twins. The Twins are, I believe, are they tied now for first place in the National League or American League Central? 2.5 games back. So hopefully rooting for the Twins. Shout out to Sydney, who is in Minnesota. Be rooting for the Twins. The Mets have off today. They gave up a walk-off home run to the Padres yesterday, so they lose that series. So Mets have been on a bit of a downpour, and in the words of Frank the Tank, that yesterday, that walk-off was the nail in the coffin in their season. So we'll see if Frank the Tank's right. He usually is. And another divisional team, the Nationals, their number 1 prospect, Dylan Cruz, the outfielder, the 2nd overall pick behind Paul Skeens. He is making his MLB debut today. The number 3 ranked pipeline prospect in the majors currently. I believe Jackson Holiday still won. And then Candelario, is that his name? Jeimer Candelario? No, not Jeimer Candelario. But there's a guy, C last name. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's the 2nd ranked for the Tampa Bay Rays. And then Dylan Cruz is the number 3 prospect, making his long-awaited debut. Shout out to the Nationals. Their top 3 in their lineup is CJ Abrams, Dylan Cruz, and James Wood. It's 3 of their top guys that are going to be there for many years to come. That when the Nationals are finally competing for the playoffs again, these 3 guys are going to be the main reason why. So pretty cool moment for the Nationals. Pretty cool moment for baseball fans who like to see these prospects come up. Everybody wants to see everybody do well. Obviously, a lot of guys don't pan out, but congrats to the Cruz family and Dylan Cruz. His hard work is paying off. Welcome to the show. I just laugh every time I see the White Sox. They have 100 losses. It is August 26th. The most losses Uh-oh. See, it keeps doing this. I don't know if it's this room with the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's my computer freezing. It looks like I'm back to good now. So yeah, the Chicago White Sox have 100 losses right now. They might not even win 40 games, which is insane. It's so bad. They have 31 games won right now. They're 31 and 100. That's just an embarrassment. That owner needs to sell the team. We talk about the Athletics owner being the worst. I think he has competition with the White Sox owner. How do you let a team be this bad? How do you let Garrett Crochet still be on this team? Could have gotten a lot of prospects for him. Could have gotten prospects for Luis Robert, but I guess waiting to sell high on their values. Luis Robert having a little bit of a down year. Garrett Crochet is having his best year possible. Kind of dipped off in the second half of the season as a starting pitcher, but White Sox, the fastest to have 100 losses since 1916, over 100 years ago. Baseball is completely different from what it was back then. So the fact that a modern day baseball team is on pace to have the most losses in a single season, that is a complete embarrassment. The three worst owners, maybe in all of sports and not just baseball: the Angels owner, the White Sox owner, and the Athletics owner. So shout out to the White Sox for being awful. And there's some controversy with Pat McAfee, College Game Day, and the Pat McAfee Show. We're live from Dublin, Ireland. Georgia Tech upset Florida State. All the coverage was for the Pat McAfee Show. They were in a bar. He was plastered on live television. He said that he took 100 milligram edible on the plane, so he was already not sober by the time the show kicked off. And then Quincy Avery tweeted out, he said, "No one thinks it's wild. Someone can get hammered drunk on ESPN and everyone act like it's cool." And then former number 2 overall pick Ryan Leaf, one of the biggest busts of all time, Los Angeles Chargers quarterback, he tweeted out, he got $85 million, bro. Hell, he's high 80% of the time on his TV show, it said. So people have followed up with that, saying that ESPN needs to reevaluate McAfee or talk to him about his antics. But this is Pat McAfee. ESPN knew what they were getting from him, so I don't know what the outrage is. People know what Pat McAfee is. That's what he built his brand on. I think he's really entertaining to listen to and watch. So for people calling on him to change, that man is never going to change. Did die down on the cursing for ESPN, but that show is pretty much the same, so he's not changing. And then Cowboys, division rival of the Eagles. CeeDee Lamb, star wide receiver, one of the best receivers in the league. He agreed to a 4-year, $136 million extension with the team, $100 million guaranteed. Oh, my goodness. I just choked on my, oh my goodness. Oh, apologies for that. Choked on my own spit there. Oh, man. I'm disgusted at this because I really wanted Howie Roseman to somehow work a miracle to get CeeDee Lamb. But now that the Cowboys threw all this money at CeeDee Lamb, does that mean the Eagles have a shot at Micah Parsons in the future? Because they still got to pay Dak. They're paying Trayvon Diggs. I'm sure Deron Bland's extension is coming in a couple years. They have CeeDee. Brandon Cooks is making a good amount. So they still got Zach Martin too. They got guys to pay on the O-line. They got guys to pay everywhere. So are the Eagles going to make a run at Micah Parsons at some point in the future? Speaking of the Eagles, we are not doing a Phillies post-game show tonight, unfortunately. But fortunately for all of you, Tony and I will be live here on Heat Ratio Sports, live at 8:30 p.m. We are doing a Eagles roster predictions. I'm sure we're going to be talking all about CeeDee Lamb signing with the Cowboys, getting his extension, and then oh my goodness, I don't know what's up with my throat right now. Still recovering. Man, that spit went down the wrong pipe. What is this? I don't know what was happening on my screen. We're having all kinds of technical difficulties right now, so I apologize. But I'll try and wrap this up quick. Me and Tony live on Heat Ratio Sports at 8:30 p.m. tonight, talking Eagles. So make sure you are there. You are not going to want to miss it. Again, the HRS Triple play of the day. Bryson Stott over 1.5 HRR. Zach Wheeler under 6.5 strikeouts. And then Bryce Harper to get 2+ total bases. With the bonus bet, being Trey Turner to get a home run at plus 425. Ronel Blanco on the mound for the Astros. Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Phillies. Me and Tony live on Heat Ratio Sports at 8:30 p.m. tonight, talking all about the Eagles. So you are not going to want to miss that. It is definitely going to be interesting. We'll be making our 53-man roster predictions. We're going to be sharing potential shocking cut candidates, trade candidates. Are the Eagles going to make more trades? So we'll be talking all about that live at 8:30. What's up, Adam? End of the show here, but hopefully you can join Tony and I at 8:30. Definitely going to be a good show to talk about. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Hopefully the Phillies don't make you too stressed out. Hopefully we can talk about a Phillies win tonight and tomorrow. And hopefully you tune in tonight at 8:30 on Heat Ratio Sports for Tony and I talking all Eagles. So have a good night, everyone. See you at 8:30. Stay fresh, my friends.